Om Shanti, 16th April, English Avyakt Murli. Revised date 19th March 82. Topic: Actions are the mirror that reflects the soul. Today, the Almighty Authority Father is pleased to see His Shakti army. To what extent has each of you mastered Almighty souls, imbibed all powers within yourself? You know all the main powers very well, and you have created your own picture based on them. This picture is a sign of the living form. It is the indication of your nobility, that is, your greatness. When each action is elevated and great, it proves that you have used your powers in action, in practice. Whether souls are weak or powerful, whether they are full of all powers or complete embodiments of power, this is known through their actions, because they have to come into connection with people and have to interact in situations. This is why there are the terms Karma Kshetra, field of action, Karma Sambandh, relationships through actions, Karma Indriya, organs with which actions are performed, physical senses, Karma Bhog, suffering of karma, and Karma yoga while in action. Therefore, the speciality of this physical world is karma, action, just as the speciality of the incorporeal world is to be beyond action, that is, to be detached from action. So, the corporeal world means action. If actions are elevated, then the reward too is elevated. When actions are corrupt, sorrow is the reward. However, the basis of both is action. Your actions are the mirror that gives a vision of the soul. Through the mirror of action, you can recognize your form of power. If no power is revealed through action, then no matter how much someone says that he is a master almighty authority, if that hasn't been revealed through his actions, while on the field of action, would anyone then believe him? For instance, although someone may claim to be a very good soldier or very good at fighting, if he is not able to fight with an enemy on the battlefield and is defeated, would anyone believe that he is a good soldier? In the same way, someone may intellectually consider himself to be an embodiment of power, but if he is unable to use that particular power in a difficult situation, or when coming into connection with others at the time when he needs a particular power, would anyone believe that he is an embodiment of power? Simply for your intellect to understand this is just like you sitting at home and considering yourself to be very clever. However, if you don't show that form at that time, if you are unable to use the power you need at that time, if you remember it after the time has passed, would you then be called an embodiment of power? This greatness is needed in action. Use the power in action according to the time. So, check your activity throughout the whole day to see to what extent you have become a master almighty authority. Which special power makes you victorious at the right time, and in which power are you weak and thus repeatedly defeated? Some children know in which powers they are weak, and they even speak of them, but only in an ordinary way. When there is a virtue-filled gathering, or in an atmosphere of similar effort makers, the majority try to hide their weaknesses from others. Some speak of their weakness at that time, but they don't have that much recognition of the seed of that weakness. They speak about it superficially. They speak at length of the external form, but they do not reach the seed. Therefore, what is the result? They prune the branches of that weakness and they thereby feel for a short time as though that weakness has finished. However, because the seed is still there, because it receives the water of various situations, the branches of that same weakness start to grow again. Nowadays, illnesses in the world are not permanently cured because doctors don't know the seed of the illness. This is why the illness is suppressed but isn't completely cured. Similarly, here too, finish the seed by knowing the seed. Some of you even know the seed, but because of carelessness, you say, yes, it will happen at some time. It won't be finished in just one go. It definitely takes time. They try to be very clever in this way. At the time when they have to be powerful, they become knowledgeful. Knowledge is certainly a power, but they don't use that power as a form of power. They just use it in the form of a point. Each point of knowledge is a weapon, but they don't use it in the form of a weapon. Therefore, understand the seed and don't allow anything to be lacking due to carelessness that would stop you becoming complete and perfect. If, after understanding the seed, you experience yourself to have the power to know the seed but not the power to burn that seed, you can then take help from the many elevated souls who are embodiments of intense yoga, Jwala Swarup, because souls are weak. They are unable to have a direct connection with the Father or to take corrections from the Father. So, they have to take cooperation from the second number elevated souls and have themselves verified. By having yourself verified, you will easily be purified. So, do you understand what you have to check and how? Firstly, don't hide anything. Secondly, don't ignore anything while knowing it. Don't just make do. When you just make do, you also cry out. So today, Bap Dada was looking at the power of the Shakti army. Now, use the powers you have attained because it is your actions that give your introduction to all the souls of the world. It is through your actions that they will easily come to know you. Actions are more gross than thoughts, which are subtle energy. Souls of today are able to recognize the physical form very quickly. Generally, subtle energy is much more elevated than physical, but it is very difficult now for people to catch vibrations of the subtle power. Through the power of your actions, they will continue to come to know the power of your thoughts. Serving through the mind is more elevated than serving through actions. The service you do to perform the attitudes and atmosphere through your attitude is extremely elevated. Nevertheless, it is easier to perform actions than to do that. You have also been given this definition before, but today Baba is clarifying the aspect of giving a glimpse or vision of you being an embodiment of power through your actions. It will become easier for the power of your thoughts to reach them through your actions. Otherwise, weak actions and the subtle energy will bring down the intellect and your thoughts. Just as the earth's gravity brings things down from above. Therefore, put that vision into practice. Acha, to those who reveal every power through their actions, to those who reveal the Almighty Authority Father through being embodiments of power, to those who are embodiments of power and who constantly recognize and then transform themselves, to those who constantly grant a vision of the unique Father through their activities, to such Master Almighty Authority souls who perform elevated actions, to the souls who are embodiments of power, Bagdada's love, remembrance, and namaste. The spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. Bagdada, meeting groups. The result of giving Maya hospitality is sadness. Do you constantly consider yourselves to be Bagdada's companions? The sign of your constantly experiencing the Father's company is constant victory. If you spend a lot of time battling and finding everything hard work, it proves that you don't have the Father's company. Those who experience His company constantly remain absorbed in love for Him. A soul merged in the ocean of love cannot be influenced by anyone else. It is not a big thing for Maya to come, but do not let her show her form. By offering hospitality to Maya, you experience sadness as you move along. You feel that you are neither moving forward nor moving backward. You are unable to move backward or forward. This is the influence of Maya. The attraction of Maya doesn't allow you to fly. In fact, there is no question of moving backward anyway. However, if you are not moving forward, then check the seed and burn it. Don't think, I am moving along, I am coming, I am listening, I am serving according to my capacity. Instead of doing that, check to what extent there is progress in your speed and your stage. Acha, only those who surrender to the Father with one strike become a Mahaprasad, great offering. Are all of you children especially experiencing your inheritance of the stage of liberation in life? Are you liberated in life or bound in life? To be a trustee means to be one who is liberated in life. So, have you died alive or are you still dying? For how many years will you still be dying? On the path of devotion, what do they offer as prasad, bhog, to the non-living idols? What is sacrificed instantly with one strike? A sacrifice that dies crying out cannot be offered as prasad. Only those who sacrifice themselves with one strike become prasad in front of the Father. Only those who surrender themselves in one go. It is an instant sacrifice for those who consider everything and think, I am Baba's and Baba is mine. As soon as you have the thought, everything is finished and you are struck by the sword. You are one who has been sacrificed in an instant. If you think, I will become that, it will happen, and constantly put everything off until some time ahead. That is like crying out. Those who constantly think in that way cannot be liberated in life. As soon as you say, Baba, then as is the Father, so the children. It is not possible for the Father to be the ocean and the children to be the beggars. The Father has made you an offer. Belong to me. There is nothing to think about in this. Acha, questions asked by double foreign brothers and sisters in Bapdada's responses. Question, how can we children go on a world tour with Baba? Answer, for this, you need to stabilize in the stage of the world benefactor, in an unlimited stage, the same as the Father. You will then experience what is portrayed in the picture of Sri Krishna sitting on the globe. You will be sitting on the globe of the world. You will automatically have toured the world. When you go to a very high place, you don't need to go around it, because by remaining in one place, you are able to see everything. When you stabilize in the stage of being at the top, in the seed stage, in the stage of the world benefactor, then the whole world appears to be like a small ball. Then, because you will be in an elevated stage, you will be able to tour around in a second. You can experience going on a practical tour through divine vision, sometimes, or with your subtle angelic form. Just as you circle around in a plane, you can also encircle the whole world with your angelic form. You can tour the world in both these ways. Since you are the children of the Creator of the world, you will tour around the whole of creation, will you not? Question. Many times, while sitting in yoga, we receive very good touchings. But how can we tell whether those touchings are from Baba or not? Answer. First, Baba's touchings are always powerful, and you will experience this power to be more powerful than your own power. Second, there will be the experience of easy success in Baba's touchings. Third, there will never be questions of why or what about Baba's touchings. Everything will be very clear. So, from these things, you can understand that that is a touching from Baba. Question. How can one recognize whether one has surrendered with one's intellect or not? Answer. The meaning of surrendering with the intellect is whatever the intellect decides will be according to Srimad. Because the work of the intellect is to decide, therefore, let nothing but Srimad enter your intellect. Because you constantly have the awareness of Baba in your intellect, that will be the decision-making power. The practical sign of that is that your judgment will be correct and filled with success. Whatever such a soul says, he will like it himself, and others too will accept it as a very good thing. Everyone will feel that your intellect is very clear and surrendered. You will be content with your intellect. There won't be any question as to whether someone is right or wrong. Question. Why is it that some children who have faith in the intellect live after 4 or 5 years? How can this wave be finished? Answer. The particular reason why they live is that, although they keep very busy in service, they lost the balance between serving the self and service. That is one reason why some good children come to a halt. Another is that you have a particular sanskar in which they have been weak from the beginning, but they hide it and continue to battle with it by themselves. They don't clearly tell Bapdada or the instrument souls about that weakness, and thus they don't finish that sanskar. Because they hide it, that weakness takes on a dangerous form inside them, and they don't experience themselves to be making progress. They then feel disheartened and leave Baba. The third reason is that they are unable to harmonize their sanskars with those of others. Their sanskars are in conflict with those of others. In order to finish this wave of souls living together with service, full attention has to be paid to keeping a balance between self-service and service. Everyone who comes needs to be very clear with Bapdada and the instrument souls. If you feel that service is too much, then first think of a means for your own progress. Also tell the instrument souls about your feelings. First, draw the attention of the new ones to these things. Check your own sanskars first. If you have a conflict of sanskars with anyone, it is good to step away from that person. It is better to separate yourself from any circumstances where there is a conflict of sanskars. Question. If there is no result from the service done at a particular place, is that due to one's own weakness, or is it due to the land there being like that? Answer. First of all, try using all types of facilities for service. If, after doing all types of service, there is still no result, then it is possible that it could be the land. If service is not increasing due to your own weakness, then your conscience will definitely bite that service is not taking place because of you. At such a time, take help from one another and fill one another with force. If it is due to you, then the souls that emerge from that land will also be weak. They won't be intense effort makers. Acha, blessing, may you become constantly victorious by transforming the attitudes of others with your own efforts as well as by experimenting with yoga. Description: effort prepares the land and that is necessary, but along with effort, also transform the attitudes of others by experimenting with yoga and success will visibly come close to you. With strong faith and experimentation of yoga, you can transform anyone's intellect. Whenever there has been some upheaval in service, it is by experimenting with yoga that they gained victory. So, prepare the land through your effort, but in order to reveal the seed, experiment with yoga, and you will then receive the blessing of being victorious. Slogan: those who accumulate the treasure of charity by doing service are charitable souls. Om Shanti.